One word to describe this movie is trippy.
Welcome to the horror show. You realize there is nowhere to run. You know, came to fight. Paranoia is getting your life.
Annihilation. A sci-fi horror film from the director of Ex Machina, which I have not seen yet, but I do own the plot. A year after her husband vanished, Lena, played by Natalie Portman, receives a shocking visit. Now, with more hope than ever before, she and 4 other scientists enter something otherworldly. It is termed the Shimmer. And if the phrase, "if looks can kill you," was as literal as it is in there, we'd all be dead. Now, is this a masterpiece like everyone is making it out to be? No, there's a huge subplot that goes nowhere. Well, at least I assume it's huge because of the amount of time they linger on it, and how it weighs down the character of Lena. I actually mentally stood up for the subplot because some guy behind me was like, "She just won SMD. Way to be mature about it, asshole." No one even laughed at it. I was like, oh, I hope you feel embarrassed. I was pretty pissed at him until the subplots never went anywhere. I felt kind of cheated in that aspect. Also, I'm not a big fan of the ending. It just seemed tired and recycled from other movies. Those, along with some other minor flaws and a hint of bad acting here and there, are really the only cons I could find with this movie. Annihilation is a beautiful movie to look at. Everything from the effects to the cinematography to just the setting in general. Everything is so visually appealing that I was in awe for a majority of the film. It was actually filmed in England in a place called Windsor Great Park, and shooting there actually began in 2016. I am glad we finally got to see it in the cinemas. However, a dark presence lurks over this movie, and it's called Netflix. Now, I'm all for convenience, but when you take the visual experience of seeing a movie on the huge curtain sheet, just so you can make it more easy for people not to have to drive out to somewhere, because God forbid they are not as comfy as they would be in the cinema, it's just lazy. I'm done with that rant for now. It might come back someday. As for the film, its appealing nature and decent acting are both great aspects. One aspect in terms of presentation that was a strong hit or minor miss was the gore, the effects. There are some vicious and bloody scenes of death in this movie, as well as a gross out scene or two, so no complaints when it comes to the grubby stuff. CGI wasn't a problem for me with this movie. I know for some people it wasn't up to par, but I thought it was rather good, and one of the creatures in the film didn't look CG at all. It looked like it was right there in a practical effect form. My girlfriend was like, "What the fuck is that?" So good on you, FX team. The musical score! It was solid in some parts and a bit too loud and psychedelic in others. While it did leave me breathless in some scenes, it wasn't a masterpiece of a musical piece. So, it's a pretty good sci-fi horror film that didn't delve too much into mediocrity. The performances were above decent most of the time, the music was okay, and the effects and gore were all top-notch, as well as the cinematography, lighting, and sets. A definite feeling of Jurassic Park could be felt in some scenes, namely Jurassic Park 3 with the whole buildings and overgrown floral and the forest aspect. I'd definitely watch this again. While not the best movie of the year, it is still a very solid 2-hour watch. Overall, I give Annihilation a 3.5 out of 5. I'm Brian Gatto, host of Horror Show Entertainment. Make sure to like my Facebook page in the description below, leave comments, and subscribe.